Let's rewind about 12 to 13 years ago. How old am I now? 30. Maybe about 12. 13 at a push. Anyway, let's rewind. I got arrested. A normal night out as a young boy in Cornwall. Of course, you've got to get arrested while you're young. No, you don't. But I did. And I think the lesson from the night, well, it was about 17, probably about 14, 15 hours I spent in that cell. Horrible. I went in at about 2 a.m. and got out at about 3 p.m. the next day. I was about to say very not fun. Really not fun. Anyway, let's rewind back to the circumstances. Normal night out, for some weird reason, I was wearing a blazer. Don't ask me why. Maybe I just fancied sticking one on. Maybe that was the reason I got arrested. Nonetheless, blazer, looked like a bit of a weirdo, but anyway, normal night out. I don't know what was happening, but I came from somewhere, walked back from a point in a place called Falmouth in Cornwall, and looked, and the whole street was brawling. Everyone was fighting. To the eye, you can see someone not fighting. And then I didn't get involved in that point, but then it kind of stopped. Everyone was like clearing away. As a boy, I was pretty cheeky, so I'd make a comment to someone and expect them not to answer back, and me continuously being cheeky until I pushed the line too far. I did that at many points in my youth. Anyway, so that's exactly what I did that night. So I saw the scuffle. Maybe it was a little bit cheeky to people around me because there was loads of people up from St Ives, which is where I'm from. Being cheeky to the people in Falmouth. La la la, back and forth, whatnot. And I can't really remember how or where that went. But all I then remember is looking back, looking back, this is why I should have be gained hero status at this point, not bloody arrested. So yeah, anyway, look back, and about 3-4 bouncers was roughing up or being very aggressive, or what's the word? Wrongly manhandling a female friend. I couldn't just stand there. Mother, father always taught me, protect the woman, protect the female, protect your wife, never treat a woman bad. That went off in my head. Alarm bells going off. Straight over there. No thought. So anyway, got over there. What was I going to do against 4 bouncers? I actually stopped one of them. Again, I can't really remember the context. After a few beers, you lose that area of brain memory. So yeah, but I did stop them, manhandling my friend, and then next minute, all I remember, 2 of them picking me up, like a proper rugby dump tackle, picking me up. I was off the ground, blazer coming off, it wasn't really, but maybe it should have been, and then dumped to the floor. Landed on my elbow. You think at that point, maybe they'll just let me go, but no, they were pinned me down, pinned my elbows down, and then I was just pinned there for a while. Maybe if I had the strength I do now, I could have got them off me, but I was a skinny boy back then, as the picture suggests. And at that point, all the police see when they arrive, the context they see is just a young man being pinned on the ground. Probably he's done something wrong. So, police escort me away, and says picture, friend snapped. Not sure why I was happy on the floor there or walking away like that. Looked like I was proud of myself. I wasn't. Anyway, so got in the police car, started driving away, and then I was trying to befriend them. I was trying to be really friendly. I'm a friendly guy, but I was being really friendly. How you doing? Blah, blah, blah. And we were actually getting good conversations in. I can't remember what we were talking about, but it was good. And I was thinking, this is quite good. Maybe they'll be like, let me off. And I was speaking about my grandfather. Did you not know my grandfather was the mayor of St Ives once? Funnily enough, 2 of them actually knew his name. So at the end of the police ride towards the police station, they stopped and they said, look, if you get a taxi home here, police station was probably about 100 meters away. If you get a taxi home here, we'll let you go. What did I say? No. A young boy about to be arrested and is given the opportunity by the police to go home. And I said no. I think it was some sort of bravado, like, look at me, I'm going to go spend the night in the cell. That's the only reason I said no, from what I gather. Anyway, I said no, stupid mistake. Clearly the world wanted me to spend the night in the cell. Took me to the cell, checked me in, and then the rough night began. And when the alcohol wears off, things aren't pleasant. Not that I was severely drunk at that point, but yeah, it wasn't that fun. So anyway, sitting there, and obviously very bleak. You don't know when you're going to come out. They keep the light on the whole time. So you're just staring at the wall. Obviously, you're in my blazer. They could have confiscated that, to be honest. I still had it on. So I was just sitting there in my blazer, and you at that point, you have two options. Not that I'm a criminal, or I spent a dramatic amount of time in there. But it gives you enough time to think. So I was just sitting there and thinking, okay, do I just sit here worried for the next however long, because you don't know when you're going to be let out, or I just focus on my next step? And the whole point of this video is that question. My next step wasn't that exciting. I had 4 walls and a little grotty toilet in the corner. It wasn't exactly amazing, pleasurable. But it's not a trivial question, because the next step gives you a chance to focus on what is in front, as opposed to worrying about 20 steps after, or 20 steps too far. For me, at that point, okay, maybe it's a few push-ups off the bed. I knew they were probably watching, so I was like, make sure I look like they haven't got to me. A few push-ups, maybe sit down, what my next step, maybe a few walks up and down the jail cell, some thinking. Whatever the case, I just kept asking myself, what's my next step? What's my next step? And although it's not, I don't feel amazing at that point, but it gives my mind a focus. And like I said, it allows me to focus on the option in front as opposed to 20 steps too far. It breaks down all the options to the most important one that is in front. What's my next step is a way of moving yourself forward in the midst of chaos, in the midst of stress, anxiety, worry, struggle. Okay, everything is messed right now. But what's my next step? So whatever you're going through right now, whatever is on your mind, whatever you're facing in the midst of chaos or hardship, ask yourself, what's my next step? Because then any steps around you, any steps thereafter, all the other options are muted. Dust. Just the next step in front. And this allows you to move forward. This allows you to put one foot in front of the other. And then you keep asking the question, okay, what's my next step? What's my next step? What's my next step? This just allows you to keep moving forward in the midst of chaos and hardship. It helped me about 13 years ago, and I hope this same question helps you today. I hope you enjoyed this one, and a little longer form style per vida. And thank you for your time. Whatever you're going through right now, what's your next step? Remember to like, subscribe. I'm going to be doing way more longer form videos now, which I'm really looking forward to delivering. And hopefully you can join me on this YouTube journey. Thanks for your time, and catch up soon. What's your next step?